How did Trump's policies shape the lives of Black and brown communities? Let's uncover the real impact. In this video, we'll take a close look at former President Donald Trump's policies and their impact on Black and brown communities. We'll discuss the key areas where his administration's decisions have made significant changes and examine both the positive and negative effects. But first, let's explore Trump's relationship with Black and brown communities before he became president, focusing on his business ventures and controversies. Greetings and welcome. I'm Carolyn A. from GettingToTheRoots.com. Here, we're all about uncovering and celebrating your unique family history. Together, we'll explore and honor the stories that define us. Let's dive in. What was Trump's relationship with Black and brown people before his presidency? Before becoming president, Donald Trump was a prominent real estate developer and businessman in New York City. His relationship with Black and brown communities was marked by several significant controversies and legal battles. How did Trump's redlining and housing discrimination affect Black and brown communities? In the 1970s, Trump's company, the Trump Organization, faced a major lawsuit from the United States Department of Justice. The company was accused of violating the Fair Housing Act by discriminating against Black renters. Evidence showed that applications from Black individuals were marked with a C for colored, and they were often denied housing in Trump properties. This practice, known as redlining, effectively segregated neighborhoods and prevented Black and brown people from accessing better housing opportunities. What was Trump's role in the Central Park 5 case? In 1989, Trump's involvement in the Central Park 5 case further strained his relationship with Black and brown communities. Following the arrest of 5 Black and Latino teenagers for the assault of a jogger in Central Park, Trump took out full-page ads in several New York City newspapers calling for the reinstatement of the death penalty. The teens were later exonerated. But Trump's aggressive stance and refusal to apologize contributed to a perception of racial bias. How did Trump's business practices and rhetoric impact Black and brown communities? Trump's business practices and public statements over the years also painted a complex picture. While he employed people of diverse backgrounds, his rhetoric often sparked controversy. For example, in the 1990s, Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino was fined for removing African American card dealers at the request of a high-stakes gambler. Additionally, his comments on various social and political issues were frequently criticized as being racially insensitive or inflammatory. What was the historical context of racial policies before Trump's presidency? Before diving into Trump's policies as president, it's important to understand the landscape before his presidency. The racial issues in the United States have deep roots that trace back to the Atlantic slave trade, a dark period in history that began long before Donald Trump's presidency. The forced transportation and enslavement of millions of Africans laid the foundation for systemic racism and profound social, economic, and political disparities that have persisted for centuries. What key policies were implemented during Trump's administration? Immigration policies. Trump's administration implemented strict immigration policies, including the travel ban targeting several predominantly Muslim countries and the separation of families at the border. These policies disproportionately affected Latino communities and led to widespread criticism and legal challenges. Criminal justice reforms. The First Step Act, a significant criminal justice reform bill signed by Trump, aimed to reduce sentencing disparities and promote rehabilitation. While this policy had positive aspects, other actions, like the increased militarization of police, had adverse effects on Black communities, escalating tensions and incidents of police brutality. Economic policies. Trump's economic policies included tax cuts and deregulation, which were intended to boost the economy. However, critics argue that these measures primarily benefited the wealthy, while the impact on minority-owned businesses and employment rates in Black and brown communities was less significant. Healthcare policies. Efforts to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act, ACA, threatened access to healthcare for many low-income individuals, including a large number of Black and brown people. Although the ACA was not fully repealed, ongoing attempts created uncertainty and anxiety about healthcare access. Education policies. Changes in education funding and policies, such as promoting school choice and charter schools, had mixed effects. While some argued these changes offered more options to underserved communities, others believed they diverted essential funds from public schools, which predominantly serve Black and brown students. When evaluating the impact of Trump's policies, it's crucial to shut off the noise of the media and social media and decide for yourself how these policies affect your life. How did his response to COVID-19 affect you and your family? Consider the effectiveness of Trump's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. Did his administration's actions or inactions impact your access to healthcare, financial stability, or personal safety? How many family members did you lose? Were there losses that might have been mitigated by different policy responses? If Trump intends to be a king, do you want a government where one family rules forever? Contemplate the idea of a government with prolonged leadership by one family. How would this concentration of power affect democratic principles and governance? Consider historical examples of dynastic rule and their impacts on society. What lessons can be drawn about power, accountability, and representation? What would it mean for Black and brown people? Examine the potential consequences of prolonged Trump leadership on racial minorities. How might policies evolve under continuous rule, and what historical parallels can be drawn? Reflect on past and current policies that have specifically affected Black and brown communities. Will non-white people be forced into a new form of slavery? Assess the broader implications of policy trends for civil rights and social justice. Are there risks of regression to more oppressive systems under prolonged leadership? Consider the safeguards in place to prevent such outcomes. Ultimately, the true impact of Trump's policies is best understood through personal reflection and critical thinking. By considering these thought-provoking questions, you can better understand how these policies have shaped your life and the potential future implications for you and your community. Are you curious about the real meaning behind Make America Great Again? Join us in this video to uncover the truth behind the slogan. Don't miss out. Watch now to get the full story. That's a wrap on exploring Trump's policies on Black and brown communities. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe for more content. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Peace and love.